Can we start? Right. So last lesson, we sort of touched on operations, introduction to operations. So you sort of understood what operations is all about. Things that we do on a daily basis to ensure business is running. Right. If you're an F&B company, then your daily operation is to prepare the things that the raw materials for you to cook and then serve. That is your daily operations. If you're a manufacturing company, then you have to manufacture the products on a daily basis, no matter how small or how big your product is, right? So between product and service organizations, you all know the difference. In the sense that service, there is every day that you need to provide a service like FedEx. You need to provide a service of to deliver products or things that your customer have ordered online, or Grab, you know, that as a company that provides online platform service to order food and to deliver rides. You know what needs to be done to ensure your operations are managed every day. Just like Tesco, you know, it's you have to ensure that every day you have to manage the customers as well as the stock in terms of what's less, what's more. During festive period, what do I need to do? During normal days, what do I need to do? Which is the most favorite aisle that I have to restock, right? Which aisle I had to put closer to the cashier so that people don't attempt to take things away. So all that would be operations. And then you also know projects are special. Projects would have a new beginning, a new I would say adventure to projects. Yeah. So there are different kinds of ways for us to look at it. And one way to ensure that your project is successful or is to have a good operations strategy supporting it, right? No point if you have a good project, but your operations fail you. They cannot sustain it, right? And that becomes an issue, correct? So with that, let's move on to next. Are you all able to see the slide, or is it too small, too big?
Yes, sir. It's good.
Good, eh? Okay, thank you. So in that sense, today, let's try to cover these particular topics. Yeah, you say what is operations strategy, the levels or types of strategy, uh, perspective of operations strategy, what's competitive, and what are the current challenges and issues. Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you guys something. This particular statement. How many times have you guys used this in your daily life? You all can put the answer there on your chat. How many times have you all used this uh, term in your life?
I guess most of us, right?
Yeah, most, and you always have this mindset of, hey, let's have a plan B if something does not happen. Yeah, thanks, Tariq. Thanks, Brendan. So it's like you mentally preparing yourself if something goes wrong. From the most common thing that we do, like watching a movie. Yeah. Sometimes, although nowadays we are very well prepared, we have got many different uh, avenues to watch a movie. So we do online ticket buying. Yeah, we book our seats very much in advance, even 2 or 3 days in advance. Yeah, and stuff like that. But back then, you are only able to buy when you get to the theater. So if you can't get tickets, then what's plan B? Yeah. Or you guys plan to travel up for a holiday, planning to get a hotel there. You can't. What's plan B? So happens many times, even as simple as having lunch during work. If it rains, what happens? Plan B. Yeah. So in that sense, just moving on, in that sense, plan B or plan A is just not an alternative. Yeah, plan A or plan B is not alternative. What they are trying to convey would be what would be the best for that particular situation. So that's what they're trying to convey. Yeah. So in that sense, moving on next would be the different levels of strategy. Yeah. Or levels of analysis, as they call it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, in the sense that operations management would be. See whether I can make this bigger. Okay, operations management would be the micro, uh, all the work that needs to happen at the process level. uh, all the work that needs to happen at the process level, meaning that imagine yourself now in the manufacturing plant of Proton, manufacturing the car, right? You are one of the engineers who's there, who's responsible to fix the engine to the car, right? So you're watching the operations going on, right? And you have a few technicians around with you, and all of them are monitoring the situation, doing what they're supposed to do in order to enable the machineries to bring the engine and load it into the engine compartment of the car. So imagine that, guys, right? And you are the engineer, you're watching all over this, you are ensuring that everything is going to the process. So it's both machinery as well as manual interaction. Yeah. So the people can't leave the engine by themselves. The engine has to be loaded by a conveyor uh, machine or something like that, that will drop off the engine into the engine compartment. You're watching it. Now, that is the micro level of the process. Okay. Now, when we talk about operations strategy, what is the macro level of the total operations? So just not doing that engine part now, we need to look at the entire flow of the operations, right from the beginning to the end. So remember, guys, micro is always part of the macro. And not to say that micro or macro, which is more important, both needs to be aligned with each other. Yeah. So that is the challenge with operations strategy. You need to understand your micro in order for you to implement a strategy. You can't change things overnight. You can't just simply say, hey, today the engine comes from the top. Next week we change it in such a way the engine comes from the front loader. So it does not work that way. Or you can't say that tomorrow we're going to change all the Proton models to be we're going to discontinue Proton Xora and bring a Proton X50. Right? You can't do things like that. So that is the operational strategy, and the difference between operations management. Management looks at the micro level of things that are being done. Macro looks at the overall. You all get that? You all understand that the concept?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So why? Because in terms of in terms of levels of strategy, you need to look at these levels of these different types of strategy and how they have conveyed it to you, right? Like for instance, they say corporate strategy. What is corporate strategy? Corporate strategy would be something that would be derived by the decision makers, by the stakeholders, right? Right. So corporate strategy would be focused on, okay lah, how do we want to bring in more profit? How do we want to expand our business? Do we want to venture into other companies, buy over something that we don't have presence in, right? Now, have you all heard of Santan?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Asia's food selling shop.
Okay, AirAsia's F&B business. AirAsia is an airline aviation company. They go and they went and opened up a restaurant called Santan. Any other airlines did that or not? Can you all think of any other airlines which did that? I can't. I could be wrong, but I've not heard. If you have heard, let me know. But understand why they did that. So they wanted to diversify, right? They wanted to meet what we call as uh, over here when they say meet the expectation of owners and major stakeholders. Meet the expectation is what? Profit lah, right? Then they say to add value to different parts of the enterprise. So as you have got their stakeholders, they've got their uh, owners, so they want to ensure that okay, let's do something to 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 create more funds for the company. Therefore, it was at a corporate level that decided that hey, we're going to diversify and probably go into the F&B business, right? And then business strategy, how to compete successfully in a particular market. Um, your business strength, your core competencies, what is your area of expertise, right? And then comes the operational strategy. How quickly you want to deliver the service or the product. Yeah. How can you work through the strategy so that it can be implemented uh, at the ground level, right? Now, just let's move on to next. You'll understand where I'm coming from, right? Say corporate strategy. What business to be in? How diversified to be? Example of Asia and Santan. Can you guys give any other example of businesses which diversify? Any other ideas for businesses that diversify? Okay, think of the global companies. Grab started as what? Okay, before Grab, what it was? Uh, Before Grab, any idea what it was? It was Uber, right? Can you guys hear me? Am I audible enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. Okay, good. So before Grab was taxi, and then they decided to deliver food. And next thing you know, Grab would offer. I think next step for Grab is they are planning to go into. Have you all heard of this term called? Right, it's called financial technology or fintech. Uh, Whatever that you do on a technology platform in terms of your transaction, it's called fintech. Simple as that. You pay bills online. You buy things using your bitcoins and whatever not, right? So that's where we are moving. We're moving into a cashless society. Definitely Grab wants to uh, venture into that area, right? How do they earn money from financial technology, the transactions that takes place, and so on and so forth, right? So that would be the corporate strategy, right? Meaning that what do you want to do next? How much money we want to spend? Uh, how do we expand the current operations business, right? Portfolio, right? So that would be at the corporate strategy. Business strategy would be in terms of the actual running of the business, right? So when you talk about business strategy decisions, you're talking about in terms of uh, market ownership. Okay, so we know that in Malaysia, there are thousands of franchise available from bubble tea to fast food, whatever, right? So we need to understand which franchise to be in and what would be the market capture. How do we want to do an entry into the market? What would be the best strategy in terms of wanting to set up the businesses in the right way, right? If you look at current situation, current climate, right? How many uh, delivery company has sprung up all of a sudden? Yeah. Last time, the only thing I know, DHL and FedEx. Now got Lala Move, got Grab Delivery, got so many other delivery companies which I'm not aware of. Yeah. So those are the business strategy that you would implement. Yeah. What would be the best? Where to start? What to do? Who are our competitors? Right? Which market? What kind of product or service that currently is available, and how do we compete with that? So that would be the business level strategy. Yeah. You think about it, and then you go to the functional strategy decisions. Right? Say what role to play in contributing to strategic objective, how to translate business and competitive objective into functional objective, how to manage the function resources, as well as what performance improvements priorities to establish. So functional strategy decisions, these are what you have to now action, right? These are what you need to know, action it, right? So both the first two, would be probably the plan on paper. You all get that? The first two would be plan on paper. Right? It means imagine, again, just imagine at the very top, corporate strategy decision, right? Air Asia are planning to diversify. So they are having many different conversation. What can we do? Shall we also start another uh, uh, what do you call that uh, a taxi service like Grab? Since we have got this huge airport that we can manage our operations, we don't have to buy a new building. Shall we start our own app called Air Asia? Now you can go anywhere. Everybody can travel to We also grab it. We also compete with Grab, or what do we do differently? So they would be planning, and then they would have come up with an idea. Let's start an F&B chain, yeah, called Santan, because our food is very, very popular, right? Our food is very popular. Let's start with Santan. The next level would be in terms of, okay, this would be the plan, where to start, how to start, how much money we need, right? At the business strategy, yeah, how much money we need uh, um, uh, to run the business and whatever not, right? And then how much profit we're going to get, what would be the operational cost. If we start something in city center, would that be feasible? Would people come and eat? Or do we open up in a shopping complex like probably Sunway Pyramid? What would be the traffic would be, and so on? How do we price our food, given that Sunway complex, Sunway Pyramid, it's a very, very expensive shopping center, right? So all that would be that at the business strategy. And then you got the functional strategy. How do we make that happen? Okay. Now, if you move that next, okay. Okay. Say mission. Overriding purpose in line with the values or expectation of stakeholders. Mission, vision, desired future state, the aspiration of the organization. Goal, general statement of purpose, objective, quantification, strategic capability, resources, strategies, long-term direction, business model, how product, service, information flow, control, the monitoring of action steps to assess effectiveness and modify. Now, this is what they're trying to do is a breakdown of that corporate, business, and operational strategy. A breakdown, right? So if you see mission, be healthy and fit. So they have a general mission, which implies that I want to be healthy and fit, right? I want to be healthy and fit so I can run the London Marathon. Yeah. So they want to be healthy and fit so that they want to run the London Marathon. Yeah. And then there is the uh, areas of, in order to run the London Marathon, what do I have to do? I need to lose weight and strengthen muscle, right? I need to lose weight and strengthen muscle. So these are the goals. And then they put the objective as with timeline, lose 5 kilos, and I need to run it next year, right? What do I have to do? I have to probably register myself with a fitness center and probably adhere to a very strict diet, right? And then what is a long term? Long term, this is for my own health. I want to ensure that I keep doing this and I don't become fat again. Yeah. And then probably, okay, one area that I can keep my long term strategy is by probably join a network of people who have got the same interests. And then the controls are, okay, how do I measure myself? How do I ensure that I don't fall back, right? All this refers to an individual. Imagine a company, right? So let me tell you guys that these are known as, have I shared this with you guys before? SMART objectives, project management, yeah, remember, right? What is the first one? S for anyone? Okay, specific, measurable, attainable, or attainable, relevant, and time bound. Yeah. So vision, very specific. Be healthy and fit. Run the London Marathon. Yeah. Measurable. Lose 5 kilos by that 5 kilo is measurable. Your weight. Relevant. Exercise regularly. Associate with collaborative network. Right. Monitor. Time bound. 1st September. Right. Attainable or assignable is, can you lose 5 kilos in 3 months? You can. Can you lose 5 kilos in 3 days? No, cannot lah. Naturally, you cannot lah. Right? So that's what they are trying to explain to you. How your how do we say your vision, your mission becomes of a reality when you break it down to that particular scope, whether mission, vision, goal, objective, strategic capability, strategies, business model, and control. So you just have to reflect that into what we call as uh, your company model, and then you'll see. Yeah. So imagine mission, uh, get into the F&B business, vision or strategic intent, have our own brand of food to compete with um, um, all the other restaurants, Asian restaurants. Goal, put the best Asian menu, right? Objective, open up the restaurant by a certain time. Yeah. So these are the things that the company should probably break it down and put it into a uh, what do you call that, into action. Yep. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, moving on. Okay. So strategic decisions are concerned with uh, long-term directions. Strategic decisions are trying to achieve competitive advantage. Scope of organization determines the boundaries in terms of type of product, mode, and geographical spread. Strategic fit is the matching of activities of an organization to the environment which it operates. Right. So always remember, tactical is short term. Strategic decision is always long term. So long term depends how you define it, depends on the nature, size, business of your organization, of your company. Yeah. So that is strategy. When you implement a new strategy, you must understand that it's going to change the way things are done in the company. Yeah. When you take on a new strategy, it becomes a change in the way that things are done in the company. So it's going to have a very long-term effect. When banks decided to put ATM machines, that was an impact to both user, customers, and the bank. Right? What was the impact? Number one, the bank needed to invest in their IT infrastructure to ensure that all their ATMs can work as best as possible. Second impact was that they were able to focus, their employees were able to focus on other, uh, uh, I would say, priorities than instead of having tellers at the counter. When I was a kid, if I were to walk into a bank, there will be 20 to 30 counters for people to go and withdraw money. That was many years ago, many years ago. Now you walk in, there are less than, sometimes less than 8, sometimes less than 10, depending, but not more than a certain number depending on the size of the bank, right? So they have so far have digitized their services. So that's strategy. Yeah, that's strategy. So remember that if you're moving in, implementing a new strategy, they would have impact to your organization. Yeah, and then the next one, strategies can be seen as building on or stretching. Strategies may require major resource changes. Strategic decisions affect operational decisions. Yeah, so straightforward. Yeah. Strategy can be seen as building on or stretching. What they mean is, again, take an example of the bank. So now the banks want to invest in their IT infrastructure, meaning more servers, more people to manage it, more hardware, uh, more investment in uh, software or building an application and so on and so forth, right? So naturally they need to invest money, right? So that's why they mean by building on or stretching. So strategies may require major resource changes. So they need more money to buy, right? And then they say strategic decisions affect operational decisions, of course. Instead of having more people at the counters working as tellers, now they need to find new work for them or look at other ways of saving costs in terms of the modernization that took place in the banks. Right. So can you all relate? See, strategy and operations. So the strategy will definitely impact your operations. Have that in mind. Strategy will always impact your operations. Okay, how it gets impacted is basically on uh, um, uh, the nature of your business or services. Next, we're going to look at the four perspective on operation strategy. What are the four perspectives? Top down, market requirement; bottoms up, and operation a resource perspective, right? Try to understand what would be a top down. Take a minute. Okay. Top down, what the business wants operation to do. What do they mean by that? What do they mean by that? What the business wants operations to do? the business wants the product to be made faster. The business wants manufacturing done quicker. The business wants less defects in the manufacturing. Yeah. Then they say, bottom-up perspective. What day-to-day experience suggests operations to do? You are the operations level. What do you want the aspects of the operation strategy to be? They want the what you call that, the stock to be delivered quicker in order for them to. So let me give you an example. Okay, I'm sure you all have heard of this company called Dell Computers, right? Maybe many of you all are not are aware that Dell Computers has got a factory in Penang. Okay, just to answer this, put it in your perspective. Yeah, have got a factory in Penang, right? So the Penang factory, I've visited the factory a couple of times. It's got a very unique operations to it, meaning that they call it the concept of the factory, they call it JIT. Have you all heard of JIT? Just in time. Okay, simple, just in time. Just in time, meaning that the factory does not carry stock. Okay, they will order for the parts only when a customer confirms payment on the website. So if you're a customer, you go to the website, you choose Malaysia, then you go to the Dell Malaysia website, then you see a laptop that you like. You make some configuration changes like the color and the size of the RAM or whatever not, and then you click to pay, and then you put in your credit card details. Your credit cards details gets approved, and then only that particular invoice or order document gets sent to the factory, right? So the business says that, guys, do not carry extra stock because we don't know what the customer is going to order. So order the parts only when the customer confirms payment on the website. So that's what business wants operations to do, right? Now, what does operations suggest? Can you all see bottom-up perspective? What day-to-day experience suggests operations should do? So they said, oh, it's like that. We can't be waiting 2 days for the parts to arrive. So we need to ensure that we keep the part, but we don't carry the stock, meaning that we ask the vendor to be on standby in our factory, and then we can just give him a document for him to release a part. So the concept of just in time works at both ends. So that's a operations strategy, right? You get your orders correct, you get your parts on time, and and the market requirements, the market requires you to send their product with less defect, less the not with the most accurate order specification that you have done online at a price that is effective, right? And then over here you see that sorry, and then over here you see that operations um, resource. Okay, how are we going to manage? Okay, how are we going to manage it? What we can with the number of people that we have, the types of information, types of can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I got disconnected. Uh, let me just go back here again. Okay. Uh, oops, why I'm not able to share. Are you all able to see? What are you all seeing right now? You know, share. Can you tell me?
Yes, sir. I'm seeing. I just saw your slide and it went off.
Oh, okay. Okay. So moving next, right? This. Okay. Talking about top-down, bottoms-up perspective. So we spoke about corporate strategy, business strategy, operation strategy, and then emergent sense operational experience, right? So the corporate strategy of probably Dell would have been to um, you know be direct, no retailers, right? Customers order directly from them. Business strategy, best pricing, uh, models, and so on. And then the operation strategy would be just in time. Yeah, and the operational experience of ordering parts, setting up systems, ensuring that everything is right, testing, that would give you the right strategy for you to move forward. Okay, now this particular uh, uh, this particular term, okay, order winning, qualifying, less important. Okay, let me tell you what does this means. If you go to the next slide, you would see, okay, they say order winners would be your fast delivery. Qualifiers would be the range price. Performance objective would be the speed. And then you have your competitor strategy, order winners, fast delivery range, price, speed, and flexibility. And then you have three alternate strategies. So how do you want to manage your strategy? That would be your operation strategy. That would be the red dot or red splash in the middle, right? For instance, fast delivery and speed. What's the difference? Fast delivery and speed. Okay, let me make you guys think. How fast can you go? How fast can you go? How fast can you go is measured by, okay, excellent, good. How fast can you go is measured by speed, right? Your fast is subjective. Speed is your measurement, right? So fast delivery and speed, there is a difference. Remember that. Okay. Let's say speed of producing the product. Very good, Ahmad. Right. Fast delivery. You're able to uh, between Grab and Food Panda. How do you measure their strategy? Both are very similar in nature. Food Panda and Grab Food. Yeah. So imagine that. Imagine your Grab and your competitor is Food Panda, right? So I'm gonna let you all take a 5 minutes break and we'll continue shortly. Okay, back in 5. Okay, we are back. Any questions so far?
No, sir. All good.
Okay. Okay. Moving along next. This is what we call as a PLC, product life cycle. Okay, or product service life cycle. Every product that you see or services that you notice would have a life cycle, right? A baby, child, adult, old age, and then it will die off unless they give it a new fresh take, unless they give it a new fresh twist to the product or to the service. Okay. Recent times. Okay. What have you used and not available anymore? What have you used and not available anymore? Anyone? Any examples that you all can share? I've noticed very less and less people carrying DSLR camera. Sorry, sorry about that. I was sharing that introduction, growth, maturity, decline, yeah, would be the life cycle of a product or a service, right? So introduction, newborn baby, young, still growing, growth, kid, maturity, young adult, working, and decline would be old age, and then slowly dying off, right? When it comes to this part here, normally uh, they would try to see they can come out, yeah, MP3 player, very good. They try to see uh, what can be done with the product or service, and then subsequently have a strategy, a plan to either continue, give it a new twist, or retire the product, and so on and so forth, right? The four stages: introduction, growth, maturity, decline. Can you see it goes with the sales volume? When you introduce something, the sales volume is probably building up, and then it slowly picks to the market, and then at one point of time everybody wants to buy it, and then one point of time it dies off because the product is obsolete or the service is not so good, yeah. uh, and it's likely what they can say that as, you see, when it's decline, price is low, dependable supply, cost, right? So this would be the as what they say, factors determining the product, right? So remember, guys, not necessarily low price means bad quality, yeah. doesn't mean that low price means bad quality. Sometimes the product is old but can still dependable. Yeah. Sometimes the product is old but it can be considered as a unique product. So keep that in mind. Yeah. But in our case here, we will have it for a general discussion in terms of product life cycle. Um, what would be the types of or categories that influences the life cycle of a product. So just remember that when it's new, sales would be slow as more and more activities are done like marketing, advertisement, promotion, right? The product would have a growth period, and then at one point of time it will saturate and then it will decline, right? Now, as Ahmad rightly called out, MP3 player. Why MP3 player, Ahmad? Why MP3 player?
Like it's during my school time, MP3 player was the thing that everyone used. Right now, there's nothing about MP3 player, and everyone is hearing through YouTube, your mobile phone.
Yeah, so it's digitization, right? So even my 10-year-old niece has got an account on Spotify. Yeah, so it's moved on. Yeah, as technology impacts, we will learn this later as technology impacts. Okay, before MP3 player, what did the MP3 player kill before it was introduced, before it became famous?
Radios.
Okay, so have you all heard of this? Cassette players. So before MP3 players, there was MP3 players CD. No, MP3 players CD player. For MP3 players or CD players. Okay. Let me give you let me give you uh, the so that's cassette as far as I know. Cassette, then CD, then MP3. Now it's on the cloud, right? Uh, so that's how it came. So the cassette died because of CD, the CD died because of MP3, the MP3 died because of cloud. So that's how you see it, right? So when the cassette was introduced, it sustained for a very long time. Cassette players were like the thing to have. I remember I'll go to Lot 10 and buy cassette players to play on my mini compo. Yeah, and then CDs. After CD was MP3. After MP3, now it's everything's on the cloud. Yeah, you don't have to have a specific. Uh, uh, so there is before cassette player there was something called vinyl. You know, the round black string that you put on a player with a needle and then you play. Yeah, before I think there was also another one called track. I can't recall what track was that. Let just quickly check on that. My internet has been so. I don't know where it is. I think y'all can Google that up now. Before cassette, there's something else, a track 14 or something like that that I can recall, and then before that was okay. Let me just check it here. So before cassette tapes, there were what is this? So before cassette tapes, there were let me just see. Cartridge, yeah, I remember the 8-track cartridge, right? So before yeah, the 8-track cartridge, 8-track, yeah. So and then after cassette, it was CDs. After CDs, it was mini disc and many more has come, right? Everything has gone digital now. Yeah. Okay. So understand, huh? Again, let me tell you guys, this product life cycle, it is not governed by a time frame, right? It's more governed by what are the changes that's happening in the environment. Okay. Have you all heard of this company? Have you all heard of that company called Kodak?
Yes.
What happened to them?
They closed down, sir.
Why they closed down? Because a new technology overtook them, right? And if I'm not mistaken, Kodak actually had the technology to do digital photography. It's just that they did not want to pursue it because they thought that by doing it, their current product, the film business, will be impacted. But they fail to realize that if they don't do it, somebody else will do it. Yeah. So these are some good learnings in terms of how we should always reinvent ourselves to be very relevant in the market. So moving on. Yeah. I hope you all understand this particular diagram. Yeah. And then just go on next in terms of um, strategies. Yeah. Focus means small. Differentiation, I want to have a wow factor. I want to be different than the others. Cost leadership, best value for money. Right. So focus naturally means you trying to have a place in a very specific segment of the market, very specific segment of the market, meaning that, you know, almost all of us at one point of time in our life have bought a watch, a wristwatch, a watch to wear, right? And our spending on that watch could be depending on what we like. I always liked Casio G-Shock. Yeah, back then the Casio G-Shock would cost you about 140 ringgit. Maybe now it's closer to about 500 ringgit. I've always liked it, right? But I have friends who, just like me, when we were in school, they always liked Casio G-Shock. Back then, 150 ringgit. Now, they don't buy Casio G-Shock anymore. They buy more expensive watches like even not the common one, not Rolex or your Tag Heuer. They go for unique imported brands, which probably cost about 100 to 150,000 ringgit per watch. So you see the difference? That is the focus. Specialize in small segment of the market. So remember, guys, not a unique market it itself. It is specialized in a way that the watch market is almost anybody and everybody can afford a watch. I go to a shopping complex, I can walk into a shop, I can buy a watch for 100 ringgit, or I can buy a watch for 1,000 ringgit. So that is fine. But for me to go into any shopping complex, go to any shop, watch shop, and try to buy a 100,000 ringgit shop, 100,000 ringgit watch, I may not find that in that shop, right? So that's what they mean by focus. Companies that produces products or services that is meant for a small segment of the market. Small segment would be the luxury segment, right? Luxury segment. Yeah, so they call it focus. I don't want to mass produce watches. My watches are all handmade and it will take 6 months to be made and it will cost 100,000 ringgit. Wow. Who can afford it? All the rich boys, all the millionaires and billionaires who's got 100,000 ringgit to spend, they would go and buy it, right? So that's what we mean by focus. Okay. And then there's differentiation. What is the differentiation that we talk about? Okay, handphones. Differentiation between handphones. How? They say actual or perceived superiority. Which handphone model has got, or which brand has got that perceived or actual superiority? Any companies that come into your mind? Okay, very good, Ahmad. That's what I was thinking too. Apple, right? Everybody will queue up for an Apple iPhone. I don't see anybody queue up for a Samsung phone, right? Everybody will queue up for the latest MacBook. I don't see anybody queuing up for what you call that, HP or a IBM or a Lenovo laptop. So again, things like this would mean, hey, we are different. We are different than you, right? When you buy us, you are special, right? And then there's cost leadership. What's the company that comes to you cheaper and that's quality? Anything? So the cost leadership now, the product has been overtaken by which country? China, right? So China are able to produce and manufacture products at a very cost-effective price. Before China, it was before China. Why Japan? Because Japan competed with the European giants and US. Who were the European giants of manufacturing before? Germany, right? UK, in US of course. So there were many other countries that were producing goods and services, right? But Japan had a cost leadership model. They made things cheaper than the European companies, right? And then they became the number one leader before China overtook them. Yeah. So let's move on next. See what is with the competitive advantage strategies of focus. Specialize in small segment of the market. We spoke about it being luxury. Yeah. All right. Examples of a focus strategy. Companies target a niche, a market niche. What you see is a Rolls Royce, a very expensive car. I'm sure you all know. And normally, who uses Rolls Royce? I see royalties, king, celebrities, very rich celebrities, right? So it's meant for somebody with a lot of money to show prestige, to show that, hey, if I've got this car, that means I'm rich. They probably live in their own mansion, yeah, not in a normal condominium or in a terrace house. So these people have got a lot of money, yeah, and it's basically meant for only a limited group of people who can afford this. You all follow, yeah? So that is the focus strategy. Another example of focus strategy is Ferrari. Not many people can afford. Is that a Ferrari? Yeah, not many people can afford a Ferrari, and it's meant as a focus strategy. I only produce Ferrari. I don't produce any other model, and my models are always expensive. Yeah. Let's say competitive strategy, differentiation, actual or perceived superiority. Let's say, oh, that's a BMW, right? So BMW had differentiation, meaning that they say, I'm better because I'm German made and I give you uh, the best driving experience, right? I think what was their tagline at this point of time? BMW, the tagline, I think I was that driving machine or something like that. I can't recall. Okay. Volvo back then, I'm talking about 2000 and 1990. The Volvo back then was the first car. So they differentiate themselves by, yeah, BMW, their tagline was, if I'm not mistaken, wrong, but ultimate driving machine. I'll give you the best driving experience. You know, my technology is such that when you drive a BMW, you don't want to drive any other car. A differentiation in terms of their value. Yeah. And then moving on next, say cost leadership. Do you all know? Do you all have heard of this statement called Porter 1985? Can you all, maybe you all can read about it. Michael Porter, right? Is one of the marketing guru or legend in the world, right? Not sure whether he's not. So he came up with these terms, okay? Competitive strategy, focus, differentiation, cost leadership. You all got time, you all can read up about Michael Porter, okay? And then let's see an example. Okay, Toyota. Say good example, the wide range of models and produce high quality cars at minimum cost. So Toyota used to be Japanese, yeah. So I mean, still Japanese, and they came up with this model of the European and German European cars are very expensive. Even a BMW is so expensive. What can I do that's similar to a BMW that is cheaper, right? So they came up with that concept. They say it's a difficult strategy to maintain. Why? Because it is something that other people can do it better. Yeah. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Moving on next. Long-term planning, alignment of manufacturing to satisfy market requirements. Right. So imagine, guys, let's go back to this. Let's go back to this. Take this for example. Toyota, a good example of cost leadership. They have a wide range of models. Okay. What does this statement, wide range of models, has got to do with this? Long-term planning. And alignment of manufacturing. So imagine this. Right now, what is the best selling model for Toyota?
Vios.
Vios. Right. And Vios runs on petrol. Assuming Toyota goes on a model saying that we want to change all our best-selling models from petrol to become electric vehicle. We maintain the same body, but we need to change the engine so that we will be able to compete with all the other cars, electrical vehicle that other manufacturing are producing. So they need to change, right? They need to do a long-term planning, right? So that's what operation strategy is all about. Currently, what is their electrical vehicle is? What is that model? Is Prius, is it?
Prius.
Prius. So Prius, I don't see many on the road. Yeah, maybe because it's not popular. Maybe people are still buying petrol driven cars. So I understand. But if Toyota decide now, hey, what is our best seller? Our best seller is Vios. So let's try to do electric vehicle out of Vios. So they need to change, right? Right? They need to change in such a way that They have to understand manufacturing often responsible for capital and recurrent expenditure, long-term nature. Manufacturing can have a large impact on competitiveness, right? So they know if I do a strategy like that, it will impact my operation and it's going to cost me money. It's going to cost me my operations would be a strategic importance, and it's going to have an impact on how I compete with my competitors. So simple. I do a strategic decision to change from from fuel to electrical. I need to focus on operations. How can I make it happen? Okay, then. Okay. So what do I need to do? Do I build a manufacturing plant or buy a new one? Do I make changes or do I buy new equipments, right? What is the process choice? What is the technology I need to use? Uh, where do I focus? How do I integrate with other functions? Other functions meaning procurement, Q&A, engineering, right? So design. So many different things that you need to focus on if you were to make the change at a strategic level. So sometimes, often you all hear or not, people say, uh, the boss say easy lah, we the one difficult to do, right? Same thing. At times, the management would have a strategy that they say, okay, go and implement this strategy, but they don't understand the challenges of it at the operational level. That's what I'm trying to say. Some people will say, the boss says sure easy lah, they say easy, but only when we try to do the work, we know how difficult it is, right? So that's a similar concept of operation strategy. You got to think of a lot of challenges that will come your way. Like for instance, this current challenges, yeah, short product life cycles. How long does a handphone now last for you? 1 year? After 1 year, you want to change already. The hardware can still use, but the new applications or games that you download your hardware cannot support, right? Um, Technology, computers, yeah, even automotive technology. Yeah, so many things have got a short product life cycle now. Yeah. Globalization. Last time, certain products were only meant for a certain continent or a country or a region. Yeah, but now it's become a generic product anybody and everyone can use. Yeah, because the borders of the market has sort of disappeared. Today I can get on my phone and buy probably a product that is made in Sweden. Yeah, I can go to the Swedish website, I can order from them, and they can ship it to me. Yeah, so changing consumer expectation, right? Today we want everything fast, quick, best, cheap. Nothing has changed in that, but the type of product that we want. There's no product loyalty nowadays. Last time, if it's I don't know, maybe if the father and the at home use toothpaste Colgate, the Colgate toothpaste is for your life. You'll never change. Today will change every now and then. again with the daily use stuff. So your expectation also have changed, right? Workforce, changing workforce. Last time, a lot of the people were experienced or were exposed to manufacturing. They were able to do hardcore engineering work. I mean, fixing manually things. Now, a lot of robotics has come in place. A lot of emphasis on back end. Back-end development work, like how do I develop an app that's going to make me uh, to do things better, right? Global manufacturing, as we spoke, globalization has also opened doors to global manufacturing. You all are aware, Apple products are made in China. Almost a lot of products today that you see comes out from China. Yeah. Sustainability, you know, in terms of um, the earth itself, right? Uh, Producing of raw materials is a challenge. Technology changes so fast today. Yeah, so it's always these are all challenges that you have to look at in terms of running your operations. Yeah. Okay. Now, any questions? Anything else? Next. Current issues in operations management. Coordinating the relationship between mutually supportive but separate organizations. So, if your manufacturing has moved to a different region, different country, per se, right? Imagine the complexities of manufacturing for your company. It could be a global company. Your operations are in China. Take Apple for an example. So the parts have to be ordered. The quality control has to be done. The marketing department, the design team, all have to uh, work seamless, right? The Apple design team could be sitting in US. The manufacturing team are sitting in China. So how do you manufacture? How do you coordinate all these activities so that your product comes out successful? Yeah, say similar with optimizing global suppliers, managing customer touch points, right? Uh, Sustainability and the triple bottom line. So triple bottom line, profit, cost, raising senior management awareness of operations as a significant competitive weapon. So they say that these are the current issues in operations. So imagine yourself running you're the general manager of an operations manufacturing Apple iPhones. These are things that you can expect to face, right? Now, just moving on. Next reference. Next. Okay, that's it for um, operation strategy. If no questions, okay. Any questions so far? Okay. If there are no questions, let's take another 5 minutes break and then we'll continue with the new chapter. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Um, Product and service design. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Right. If you guys ever get to work in an environment where you are involved in the uh, product and service design department, um, I think you all should just go and join just for the experience, because you really have to understand all the level of human experience and touch point and psychology in order to design, or in order to design a product or service for the humans. Humans means all of us. How do we think? How do we react? How do we use? How do we expect? So many different factors which will influence the way a product is designed or a service is designed. So that's what you're going to learn today. So today, probably looking at what is designed in a product or service, stages of design, issues for a product or service design, house of quality. Yeah. So you learn. Interesting topic. Yeah. Interesting topic. Um, after doing this, after going through this subject, if you were to go out anywhere, anything, right? If you intend to buy a new car or a new chair or a new pen or whatever new in your mind, just think of this topic for a second: is how would they have designed it, or what was the thought process behind designing this? Yeah. So let's go here and say and see what's in store. Nature and purpose of the design activity, product, services, and the process which produces them, all have to be designed. Decisions taken during the design of a product or service will have an impact on the decisions taken during the design of the process which produces those products and services, and vice versa. So what they are saying is, if you want to produce something, You need to understand the process on how to produce it. So that process has to be designed, right? The process has to be designed. Vice versa, subsequently, if you want to produce a product, you also have to design the product or service on how it should be. So, number one, if you want to produce something new, you must understand how you want to process it. So, chicken and egg story here, meaning that you design the process, or do you design the product? So, depending on the nature of your company, if you're already a full-fledged manufacturing company, you have a new design, then you have to go and change the process on how to produce the product. If you are a brand new company starting, then you must design the process on how you want to manufacture and what you want to manufacture. So that's what they're trying to say. It's just not one aspect that you got to think of. You got to think of it from multiple aspects. Fine, I can design the latest, probably I can design a car, a new car design, something that comes with probably uh, electric vehicle. But do I have the resources to produce it, to assemble the car, to build the car? I have to go and design that resource as well, right? Meaning that I need to understand how the factory is going to be, what comes in, what comes next, how do we arrange it in such a way, the layout. So that's a process as well that you all got to think of. You all follow me? Yeah. So think overall. Just don't see the product. Think about how you want to produce the product as well. That's what they mean by the nature and purpose of design activity. Both ends that you have to think of. Even you have got the nicest design, but if your factory cannot manufacture it, no point, right? So you got to think of the process of from both ends. So moving on next. They say UK Design Council. Okay, so it's very specific to UK. They say designs help businesses connect. 90% of businesses grow rapidly. Uh, Design is significant to them. Design reduces cost by making processes more efficient. It's true. 70% of companies see design as an integral way. New products. Companies who are effective users of design have financial performance 200% better than the average. So what they're saying is, guys, when you design, you are standardizing. When you design, you're standardizing. When you design, you're taking input from your business, input from what the market wants, input from what you can get, and then you are building a design based on the limitation and the information provided. So meaning less wastages, meaning that when you design something based on what the market reacts to, you have got a higher chance of successful of the product or service being successful because you're catering to the market, right? So that's what they mean by this. Yeah, they say design council survey. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Now, I understand that before you can even go to the design part of it, let's look at these factors are common factors for you. Yeah, these factors are common factors for you. New product opportunities. Common sense lah, understanding the customer, economic change, sociological change, technological, political, market practice, professional standards, suppliers, distributors. So all this will impact your product, right? For instance, if 30 years ago, 30 years ago, I tried starting a YouTube page, I would have not been successful because smartphones were not existing by then. I'm not able to use my smartphone to do a quick video of myself and then post it on YouTube. That's how it started. YouTube started as a video sharing platform. 30 years ago, 30 years ago, I would have not done that. What prompted all this? What prompted YouTube to become very successful? Sociological and technological change. Yeah, sociological and technological change. As economically, people were earning more better. They were able to buy better phones. Technological change made it possible that the latest technology, the camera phone technology, was made available even to the cheapest smartphone. Now everybody is a YouTube star. Everybody can do a TikTok of themselves. Everybody can post a message on Twitter, right? So that gave new opportunity, right? Have you all heard of this new platform? It's only available on Apple at this point of time, not available on Android, right? So it's the next big thing, you know. Clubhouse is it's like your virtual coffee shop, virtual cafe, where you're able to go and listen to industry experts talk. If you all have an Apple phone, right, an iPhone, you all can download that Clubhouse and get invited to any of the forums that you think you'll be more than happy. You can learn something, right? So new product opportunities meant that um, you are able to design a new product or a service, right? All this, I mean, you guys are familiar with all these changes. You are able to uh, relate to the current services that you use. When you look at this, you know, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but 20 years ago, nobody thought of ordering. I can get a taxi to come to my house, and he will take me to anywhere that I put in the request. Last time you have to call the taxi service center, and then the taxi service center will radio in the cab. The cab will then say, okay, I'm going, and then the taxi will call you back again, say a taxi on the way. Nowadays you don't have to do that. Yeah, now you just put in your request on Grab, agree on the price, pay through a card that you have already updated on your Grab tool, and you are done. Seamless, right? So this is what um, has disrupted the market. Okay, moving on next. Okay. Say what is designed in a product or service? What is designed? Say design a concept, a package, and a process. Concept is what? The nature, use, and value of the service or product. Concept. Package, the group of component products and services that provide those benefits designed in the concept. And then a process. So first you design the concept. What I mean by concept, uh, we were to take iPhone. What is the concept of iPhone? Special, it's different, it looks nice, right? You will feel wow when using iPhone. So the concept of it, you have to design it in such a way, right? Then the package, what goes into the iPhone, you know, touch screen. They were the first one to introduce on a phone without a keypad. Imagine that, right? And then a process. How do you going to manufacture this iPhone? Yeah. So that's what they meant by concept, package, and process. It's a design process. So when you think about designing, it's not about designing. You take a piece of paper and then you start drawing the iPhone and say, hey, my iPhone is going to be this, it's going to be like that, it's going to be like this. You know, you put color, you put that. And no, no, no. Design is more than that. Design in terms of the feel, the value of the product, the value of the service. You must think the entire customer journey of the product when you are designing it, right? So that's what they meant by concept. The package can relate to the actual hardware that you're going to touch and feel that product, right? Or the service that you're going to experience. Like for instance, you go to a restaurant to eat, but the concept is also part of the design. Yeah. And then the process, how are you going to deliver? How are you going to deliver? Right? How are you going to deliver? So that is how you're going to manufacture. So that's the process of it. Okay. What is a product design? Next. What is a product design? Anyone? Okay. They say product design, the process of defining all the company's product characteristics. Okay, I think they're wrongly put. It says defines all the products characteristics from appearance, material, dimensions, tolerances, and standards. They also say product design must support product manufacturability. What do they mean? As I said earlier, you design this chunky product, but nobody is able to manufacture, so you can't. It's no use, right? So again, see here, design refers to appearances, materials, dimensions, tolerances, and performance standard. Okay, let's go. What's this? Okay, here they refer to services versus goods. Difference between a service design and a product design. Okay, service design is unique in that sense, in that the service and entire service concept are designed, must define both the service and concept, physical elements, aesthetics and psychological benefit, and product and service design must match the needs and preference of the targeted customer group. Okay. Simple thing. I don't want to use food and I don't want to use something that may create a confusion in terms of how it's designed and how it's the difference between service and goods. Yeah. One of the most common places or service that we um, used to after MCO we did not lah, or during MCO. Now I'm not sure now it's available or not. I think you guys also love going there to watch a movie. Now, where do you go watch a movie? A theater. Famous theaters? Okay. You watch movie at home, understand. But if you want to go out and watch a movie, where do you go? TGV or GSC? Why TGV? Why guys? Why TGV? Okay, imagine before COVID. Why TGV? Cheaper. Okay. For the popcorn. Okay. GSC too expensive. Okay. Now, so there is a cost element, right? That's what I'm trying to say, in the sense that when you're designing the services, TGV or GSC provides a service. The service is, I will show you a movie, right? And I want you to come and experience of watching a movie in my theater. And what I'm going to give to you, I'm going to give to you this uh, physical elements like, wow, the chairs that I sit, the seats are very comfortable. The seats that I sit are clean, right? As I walk into the theater, it smells fresh, not smelly. It's very, right? And I see the sound system is good, surround sound. The staffs are very friendly. The popcorn is very fresh and tastes good. Okay. Now, that is the difference between a service design and a product design. You all follow? You all understand now? So when you design for a service, you take into account all the things that will impact the customer who's experiencing the service. When you're designing a product, you'll think of all the things that will impact the customer when using the product. So that's the difference. Yeah, I want you all to understand that. Okay. Say product design and process selection affects, they say, quality, cost, customer satisfaction. What are they trying to say here? Right? Your design, your process, right? Your design and your process will definitely have an influence on the quality and cost. Yeah, quality and cost. If you have a product that you want to put it at, how do I say, a basic design. Proton Saga, basic design car model compared to Proton Perdana. Obviously, it's going to have an impact to quality and cost, right? Toyota Vios, 80,000 ringgit against a different model. Toyota Camry, it's going to be a difference in quality and cost, right? The design, because you are designing it for two different markets. You are designing it for two different needs. So that's what they're saying. Whatever you do, yeah, whatever you do, your actions of trying to design and process it in such a way would have impact on quality and cost. Right. Let's go next. Okay. Oh, sorry. What they say here? The product and service design. Okay, guys. Again, you see, transformed resource, transforming resources, and product service design measured by quality, speed, dependability, flexibility, cost. What they're trying to say is the product and service design itself is a process, right? So imagine you work for Proton, and you are part of the design team. You're part of the design team. You would be part of the what they call as the okay, sorry about that. You would be part of the test and design, design and technical stuff. You would probably be able to use all the information provided by the technical information, market information, time information. Those would be your inputs, right? This is a process by itself. And then you're looking at the way you need to use this and produce or design a product that can be manufactured. So this is prior to manufacturing. Before manufacturing, yeah, you need to do this in order to come up with a product that is ready to be manufactured. You all follow? So this is the design process prior to manufacturing. Not you do this, you do this, the big green box, you're ready to manufacture. No, you have to do this prior to the manufacturing. So it's going to be a process. Yeah. Okay. Now they say decisions. Product or service organization provides society. Organizations focuses on core products. Customers buy satisfaction. Fundamental to an organization strategy with implications throughout the operations function. Again, what they are saying is your design ultimately will end up in the customer's hand. So what you design would need to be successful in order for it to be a top seller, a best buy kind of a thing, right? And how does it impact? See, it definitely impact the way your organization's operation strategy is going to be. Right? You learn about that more. The next slides, yeah, you see this. Okay. See, aspects of product and service design over here. See, interpretation of expectations, product or service, design, operations, product or service, customer. So guys, quite simple, yeah. This is a loop. This loop happens to every product and service. In fact, you yourself would have been part of this loop in either in one of these three boxes, depending on the organization that you work. But at some point of time in our life, most of the time we are here, customer, at the customer box, right? Customer box, what we tell is, okay, how nice if I can get a product or service where I'm able to order food on my mobile phone. Marketing processes it. Marketing here is intelligence. So you're giving your expectations or your needs, your wants, your feedback. Your expectations are gap that a company wants to fulfill. You all follow me? And then this is your organization understanding the needs, the wants, the gap at a certain market segment. And then use this information that they get in order to design a product or a service, which at this point of time, it's once designed, approved, in operation, customer consumes the product or design, and the loop completes. Right? So this one and this one, these two slides combined would give you this picture as a high level view. What do I need? Right? What do I need in order to sell to the market? I need to understand what the market does, what the market wants, what my customer needs. Yeah. And then sort of put it into a design and then see whether I can manufacture or deliver the service to the product, to the customer. Yeah. So this is the complete loop. We go next. Yeah. Next, what they say. Yeah. Stages of product and service design. So they say the different stages. What are different stages? Concept, screening, evaluation, preliminary, evaluation, prototyping, and final design. Right? Concept, package, process. Okay. We'll go through concept. We go through each of the stages, and you probably get an idea. Yeah. In most times, in most idea generation, right? Most idea generation, when you talk about design, most companies have got a strategy. Yeah? This is something that's out there. Most companies have got a strategy. The strategy is they will take the large market population. They'll take a look at a large market population and select a segment. Okay, so this is large market population, very large. Maybe you're talking about, okay, let's say you're talking about young adults. When you talk about young adults, who are you categorizing as a young adult? a very large market population, right? So I'm telling you how an idea is generated, okay? Young adults, large market population, very large. Anyone between the age of 18 to 26. Let's put it that way. 18 to 26 years old. And now break it down. Break it down to maybe male, single, right? Um, First job, living with parents, um, salary between 3 to 4K. So what they do is they take this large market and then they break it down. Oh, young adults. Some more. What's young adult? Okay, 18 to 26. Okay, what's 18 to 26? Okay, who do we target the 18 to 26 market? Okay, got to be a male, got to be a single, has got his first job, living with parents, and then you've got a income of 3 to 4K, right? So based on this, they will create a persona, a concept. Okay, if I am a car company, a car manufacturer, I probably will look at, okay, if I want to sell a car to this guy, what kind of car would it be? That's where the concept or ideas will generate, right? Or they say, hey, I want to provide uh, a service to this guy. What would it be, right? Maybe I want to provide a men's grooming. Oh, these guys all like to be stylish. They wanna have professionals cut their hair, but they cannot afford to pay much. They don't want to go to the Indian traditional barber. They want to go to a nice, a modern barber who's able to give me this kind of service and so on, right? So that's the men's grooming center, right? So ideas or concepts are derived based on what you think your product or your service should be at. So that's why they meant by concept generation, screening, preliminary design, evaluation and improvement, prototyping, and final design. The concept. Let's look at the concept. Right? The concept is, okay, internal sources, analysis of customer needs, suggestions coming from customer, ideas from research development, goes to marketing department, external sources, market survey, suggestions coming from customers, actions of competitors. Yeah. So your first step to a concept is based on all the data or information gathered internally and externally. Simple as that. So the internal sources are here, the external sources are on the right. Both of them would both uh, would um, contribute to this, right? And then what's next? They say um, from ideas to concept. So you initially collected ideas, yeah, all the feedback, and then you look at um, an example for an adventure holiday and a telephone. Yeah, idea. On the right is adventure holiday, an inexpensive telephone, expensive camera. You look at this. Form, function, purpose, benefits. Says form, function, purpose, benefit. How? What do you need to do? What do you need to understand? Form, function, purpose, benefit. Yeah. Then you look at in terms of form. Shape of the product or service. Which particular, how should it operate? How should it function? What's the purpose of that particular product? What's the benefit, right? So you can take any of this idea and turn it into a concept. Okay, and then they say, once you get a concept, also you still have to design. You still have to choose on the concept. You can't just go with the concept. You have to choose the concept. What do they say? Concepts screening, evaluation. So you've got three or four ideas. Out of the 3-4 ideas, you build concepts on that idea. The concepts of the idea would be this: form, function, purpose, and benefit. So that's the different aspects of the concept. Once you have the concepts, there'll be a few concepts. Then you have to also look at the few concepts like feasibility, acceptability, vulnerability. Right? So marketing, operations, finance. I don't have to explain much in the sense that if you look at this, you have got a few concepts. Okay. You want to put a few concepts in place. You look at feasibility. Are there that many people to buy a product? Meaning that is the market big enough? Do we have the right resources to produce it? Do we have enough money to develop, manufacture, market? It's just not developing. You have to manufacture, you have to market it, you have to support sales, right? So many things involved. It's just not going into the factory and manufacturing. Many other things are involved, right? And then acceptability. What would be the response to our product? Would our product face any discrimination? For instance, it's not something that Asians will use. Yeah. So how much will we have to recognize our activities? What's the ROI? And then what's the vulnerability or the risk? What if we are not able to produce it? What happens? What if idea concept is good, but manufacturing is bad? Can't get the design that we want. Or when put together, the product does not perform as how it should be. Yeah. So many things, right? Think of all that. Once you have done with that, right? So coming back to here, you have done your concept. You had a few concepts. You have, let's say, 3 concepts that you came out with. And then out of 3 concepts, you did a screening or what we call filtered. You filtered one idea, one concept. The next one will be this preliminary design. Okay. What does preliminary design do? Here. Right. After concept screening was stage 2. Stage 3, initial package design, initial process design. What do they mean by what constitutes of preliminary design? What constitutes of initial package design? Package is not the package. Package is the look and feel. The look and feel of the phone. The look and the entire process that governs the manufacturing of a telephone. Guys, just give me a second here. Give me 5 seconds. I'll be back. Sorry about that. Yeah. So the package design of a telephone, parts that's needed to put it together. What is the standardization, right? Standardization here, they say commonly available interchangeable parts, but also safety. When they say modular design, currently you probably producing phones. What are the current design that you can incorporate into your manufacturing, right? And design for manufacture so that it can be produced easily and economically. That is your initial package design. You gotta envision the phone from beginning to the end, right up to you getting the phones in your hand, right? So that's what they mean by initial package design. Just move on next. You see, it says product structure for the telephone. So same lah. I think this one it's quite simple, right? To understand what is needed and what's not needed. Yeah. And then it says bill of materials for the telephone. Bill of material, what you need to order, what you need for one single phone. Yeah. And then this shows design simplification. Okay, what they mean by design simplification is number one, when it came out with the original design, you can see the design has got boards that needs a lot of parts that you need to screw on, need to fix in order for the bed to sustain. And then you see the revised design You see, one piece base and elimination of fasteners, right? You don't have to fasten everything, just one piece base. And then finally they have design and push and snap assembly. So they said, okay, we improve on the current design that we have and come up with something that is as simple as possible in order to manufacture. Yeah. So this is the exact process of how IKEA would probably design their products. What is simple to manufacture and what is simple to process. Yeah. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. Moving on next. Say, okay. So we had a concept. Out of the concept, we chose one, that's screening. After choosing one, we understood uh, what is the designs gonna be, that how it's gonna work, how we're gonna improve it. Now the fourth stage is evaluation and improvement. That's where we are going. Yeah. So evaluation and improvement. You'll see this one. Yeah. What they mean. There are various ways of evaluating. One is the quality function. One is the value engineering. The other one would be Taguchi methods. Okay. Get this. The first one, they say quality function deployment. Let me give you an example. This was shared to me by a friend. So I think one of the UK, I can't recall which one, they commissioned a company to design in order to encourage brushing teeth among the young children in UK. They asked the companies to design toothbrushes for the children from kids as young as 3 to 4 years old. Right? What will it? What will attract them uh, to brush teeth, to use the toothbrush? Okay. Many companies design and came back with colorful animals and whatever not, something that will attract children's attention, right? But one company, if I can't recall who, designed it in such a way that the toothbrush was so big that it made the children easy to hold it, because children just don't have the what you call that, the flexibility to hold a small toothbrush, right? Let me just find out who it is was, right? So that's how they realize that for children they need to hold the toothbrush rather than you design it. Uh, you designing it for you designing it for an adult like, but colors, they decided to design a toothbrush which had sort of a handle in where children could easily grip and use the toothbrush, right? So that's where this particular function comes in. Identify customer wants. Identify how the good, the product or service will satisfy. Relate customer wants. Identify relationship between the firm's house. Develop importance ratings. Evaluate competing products. Again, you say you are at this point of design. You're at this point of design, right? You still don't have the product in your hand. You're still at the concept of design. You have the concept, right? You have the preliminary design in your mind, right? You're still looking at the quality of the design, the function of the product, right? So once you have the design in your mind, you go back and you check, is this design that the customer would want based on what I want, based on what I understood from the feedback or from the market analysis. So you need to understand that. That's what they're trying to tell you here, right? There are three ways to look at your design. Hey guys, remember this one is still not physical yet. You're still re-evaluating the design that you have in mind or in paper based on your concept. Based on the concept, based on the ideas that you have, based on the design that you already have in mind, you still have not built it. You're still evaluating your design, your idea, right? Based on it. So they say they got three: quality, value, Taguchi. So that's what you're doing. For quality function deployment, you're still at this stage whereby you are evaluating your design. You say the house of quality. How to satisfy customer wants, what the customer wants, technical and attribute evaluation, analysis of competitors. So you need to understand. You have your idea now. Sorry, you have your design in mind, in place. You again try to fill in these boxes. Am I meeting the technical limitations with my design? Is that what the customer wants? What about the competitors? What kind of product they have compared to mine? If I wanted to go with the cheap phone, an affordable phone for everybody, right? Will my phone be good enough to satisfy the customer? Forget about what the customer wants here. It's two different things. What the customer wants and what the customer is satisfied with is two different things. We all are like that. We want a cheap, affordable phone that can be that will look like an iPhone. So when I produce something like that, you say, "Yeah, this looks so cheap," right? So two different things: customer wants and customer satisfaction. Yeah. Then you have all these. Let's look at the example that they have given. I think they're given a phone. Yeah. House of quality. Okay. Your team has been charged with designing a new camera for Greats Camera Incorporated. The first action is construct a house of quality. Okay, let's see what's that house of quality is all about. Okay, say number one, there are no right way or wrong way. Yeah. To use this, there is a video that I put. Why don't you all watch the video in your free time? This looks like a house, right? Look at on the left hand side, they have all the components: lightweight, easy to use, reliable, easy to hold steady, no double exposures, our important ratings, right? And then technical attributes, technical evaluation, company A, company B, that is your, so your, what you have done is you've built this comparison plus your technical factors into what they call as a house of quality, right? So that's the engineering parameters, the customer requirements, right? And then your technical attributes. So things like that that would help you to design on your product, right? And then they say a sequence. What is the sequence? Deploying resources to the organization. Okay, they say design, specific components, production process, and quality plan. Okay, guys, again, up to now, your idea, your concept of a new product is still on paper, meaning that there's nothing that you can hold, nothing that you can use to see. This is where the stage 5 is where you would need to finalize. Finalize what? They call it prototyping. Okay. Prototypes are needed so products and services can be tested. How many of you all have heard this term called prototype? Prototype. Okay. Prototype is the very first physical product or the very first service that you actually you have produced. Meaning that prototype is before Proton X70 was manufactured, they built one car first, only one. Only one. They built only one, and that one is the proto. You take all the idea, you take all the feedback, you take all the functions, features, feasibility of whatever that you had in mind, and you build one. That is prototype. Okay, that's what they have done here. For what? Prototypes are needed so it can be tested can include everything from clay model to simulations. Uh, Prototypes may also include simulation, but the actual implementation of the service on a pilot basis. So sometimes the service you can go and try it out in an existing store, right, or in an existing environment, in a non-production environment that you can call out. Yeah. So stage 5. We are at stage 5. Again, let me tell you, it still has not gone to manufacturing. Your idea is at a stage 5 whereby you have decided to build one unit to test. They call it a prototype unit. Now, you can have multiple prototype units. Okay. I'm not sure whether you all remember this or not, or you all are aware about this. When Steve Jobs launched his iPhone, yeah, I think there was a documentary. I think you can still capture that video on YouTube. I think he had 6 to 7 iPhone prototypes with him. That means the phones, all of it, they had 6 or 7 types of it, 6 to 7 iPhone types with him, so that when he launched it, when he actually had a function that he wanted to show off, like ordering pizza, right? He used one that was meant for that, and then he used another one for taking photo, and then he used another one to browse internet and so on. So that's what prototype is all about. It's testing and coming up with the product in hand in order for you to try it out. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna stop here, the last slide for today. Yeah, and continue next week on the service design. Again, this is something that you guys saw in the earlier slide. What I want you all to take away is transform resources, internal, external input. Okay, test and design equipment, internal and external resources. Sometimes your test can also be done by a third party. Yeah, internal, external. And then you have this, you come up with what we call a prototype, this part here. This green part is you come up with your prototype, and then finally the output would be one unit or one product or a pilot service that you need to test. Still have not gone to manufacturing yet until it is approved. So I'm going to stop here. Next lesson we'll continue with service design. Any questions so far? I'm going to be online until the next 5-10 minutes if you guys have questions. If no, I will you all can drop off and attend to your needs. Uh, those who want to stay on and ask questions, please stay on. I'll be available for the next 5-10 minutes. Yeah. Thanks, class. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you all again. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Take care. Bye.
Okay, I'll be on. I'll be on until the next 10 minutes. If any questions.